Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our Midway Million Mile Pep Rally. Jay, you want to kick us off with your pep? You bring the pep to the pep rally.
Are we live right now?
We are, yeah.
Oh,
While you got up to close the curtains, we went live.
oh wow. Well, I just want to welcome everyone to the mid-month pep rally. We're really excited about the Million Mile this year. Everybody is doing great. Um, the event has a record number of people, and we are raising a record amount of money. So you guys are doing a great job. We have some exciting guests that you're going to hear from today. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Liz.
Okay, thanks, Jay. Again, welcome. We are so excited to see what's happened already this month. Can't wait to see what happens the rest of the month, but we thought this would be a good time to get together and celebrate and shout out the great work we're all doing. Special shout outs to a few teams who've really just gone above and beyond. But most importantly, we have some special guests who are going to be joining us that you're going to hear from. So don't worry, it's not just going to be me goofily talking to you for the next hour. But okay, a few things I want to note, and I have some notes here. That's why I'm looking over here. We will, if you're on, use the chat, shout out your own team, tell us what team you're from, share any thoughts you have, ask any questions you have. We love the chat. We'll use the chat throughout the whole hour. If I'm talking, if somebody else is talking and we're not reading it right away, somebody else might answer you, or they might tell us there's a question. We're on it, so please feel free to use it. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so let's see, some really exciting news. So we have over 1,600 teams doing the Million Mile this year, which is the most we've ever had. See, Montana Strong, love it. See, people already commenting. Thank you for joining us. We have more than 10,000 participants, 10,500 plus participants. Again, another record-breaking year. And for sure a record, we are just below 1.4 million raised. Last year we finished at about 1.6, but at this point last year, which was also a record-breaking year, we were significantly lower than where we are right now. I can tell you that this year has been the year of not exceeded expectations. So we've had a lot of events, and just because of everything going on, we've kind of assumed that the giving and the donations would be less. And the Million Mile has certainly proved that that is not the case. And people really care about kids with cancer and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And besides the fact it's virtual, which really helps, but you guys have done a phenomenal job. And the fact that you're tuned in here really tells me that it means a lot to you. So I first and foremost just want to send you my personal thanks on behalf of everybody at the foundation, obviously on behalf of my daughter, Alex. I should have probably introduced myself properly, who founded Alex's Lemonade Stand, and all of the families out there whose children have battled, are battling cancer. It means a lot to see this show of support. Okay, so some really special shout outs here. Our top 3 teams have all raised more than $40,000 so far. We have Super Nora 2020, $63,000 raised. They are crushing everybody, I must say. I know that deserves a huge round of applause. Nathan's Cancer Slayers, $43,000 raised. Another amazing team. Maddie's Million Miles, $41,000 raised. Those are the top 3, but let me tell you, every single donation matters. And I know we say that a lot, but Alex really taught us that with her lemonade stand in our front yard, that, $5, $10, it didn't matter. It all added up. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation and the progress that's been made and the work we've been able to do if it wasn't for the fact that people like Alex and all of you believe that every single donation counts. So still have to shout out those incredible teams out. Our top fundraiser, so an individual who's raised the most, is Charlie P. of Team Super Nora. Over $30,000 Charlie has raised. So, wow, hire him. I think it's a him. Hire them. Okay, so we also have 230 teams who've raised $1,000 or more, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money to raise by asking friends and getting pledges. And also, it's about logging miles, right? So let me see, I didn't even write down how many miles we've gone, but luckily we have the internet. Let's see, we are over 300,000 miles I think, right, maybe 350,000, something like that. I do know from looking at my team and from past experience, a lot of people wait to log their miles. So I feel like we can get to 1 million this year, but remind your friends who are doing it, and of course yourselves, to log miles. You can go back to the beginning of the month to log miles. There's no deadline on doing your miles real time. I do that myself oftentimes. Okay, so our top mileage champs for teams. We have Warriors for a Cure, a long time amazing team. They've logged over 10,500 miles. Stepping Out for a Cure in Georgetown out of Texas, over 7,800 miles, I think I wrote, can't even read my own handwriting. And Wooden Wheels Multisport, over 6,700 miles. Wow, this is a lot of miles. And then of course we have a school who's part of Stepping Out for a Cure in Georgetown, Texas, that single-handedly has logged 3,700 miles. So I'm thinking they're doing all of their classes outside while they're walking to get that many miles. I'm not sure, but it's incredible. And this town, Georgetown, Texas, comes back every year and the whole community rallies around doing the Millie Mile. It's phenomenal. It's really inspiring to see everything going out. We also have a school team, St. James Academy Lemon Out, that has over 1,000 members. And that's just one of their teams. They do a big event every year and people wear yellow and they really try to bring awareness and obviously log a ton of miles and bring the whole community together. I want to have a few other shout outs. Team Elijah T, in memory of Elijah or Eli Talley from Little Rock, Arkansas. We're going to meet another Arkansas family in a couple minutes. They had a goal of 200 members. They have 476 people on their team, and that just speaks to the inspiration of Elijah, who we knew and loved very much. This is a great story of Team Nathan's Cancer Slayers. One of their members has trouble walking. I think she's just older, and as we get older, it's harder to log those miles. Aunt Toma has been treading water to log miles. Which just shows you, like, if people really want to make a difference and do something, they can. She's done 30 miles. She's done as many miles as I have treading. She's been treading water, and I've been walking on my 2 legs. That's so impressive. I hope she's on the call because we love you for doing that. That's awesome. Team I Care, I Cure. It's his first year as a Million Mile team. They're almost to their 20,000 goal already. It's like halfway through the month. Team Lemons on the Loose, another great team out of California, and with everything going on out there, they are still doing amazingly. They've surpassed their $5,000 fundraising goal. This is a team that works with the UCLA community. Again, phenomenal. And then we have one participant who we have a virtual half and full marathon that you can do as part of the Million Mile. And that wasn't enough for Andrew. Andrew is going to do 100 miles that day for the Million Mile instead of just, you know, a half or a full marathon. And he's going to do those in Utah. So you can see this is really happening all over the country. And then the Lemon Divas and Dudes, used to be the Lemon Divas, and they've added the Dudes over the years. They are back at it again. They are raising a ton of money. They are closing in on the top teams at $36,000 raised. But again, all of the teams, everybody matters. It's just fun to be able to call out some of those top teams who just have really crushed it this year. I want to read some of the comments. We've got Montana Strong, Million Mile Maniacs. I actually think that may have been the second team ever created because my team, Team Alex and Carly, we determined was the first. Team Morgan is on the call. I think a couple people from Team Morgan are on the call. You guys are awesome. And we've got a family from Team Morgan on the call, so that'll be a treat. They've got their fans lined up to watch them, I guess. But at the end of the day, you know, we're here for a great cause. And, you know, as a parent who had a child with cancer, I'm doing this because of my personal experience with my daughter and all the families I've had the pleasure of meeting. But I'm always amazed at people who join these teams and create these teams and do all of this and raise money and log miles who don't have a personal connection. And I'm not downplaying the people who do, but I think everybody who's had a child with cancer would agree that it's people who join, who make us stronger and give us hope. People who don't have a child, who aren't connected, who say, I want to do something to help you and your family and other families like you. So to all of you out there who I'm speaking to, who don't have a personal connection, please know how much it means to us. Aunt Susie's proud to be on Team Morgan. Morgan liked that one. Yeah, and we can get to 1 million. Totally agree. Okay. So, but I don't want to speak for all the families. I'm lucky that I get to speak about my family's experience and about the impact that Alex's Lemonade Stand can have in general on finding new cures and helping families get to those cures. And during COVID, we've been providing grocery support, but it's always better to hear from a family who's been through it as well and can lend a different voice to the cause. So I am so honored today to have the Schwem family here with us. Jeremy and Liz, dad and mom, and then we have Meg and Morgan, and they have had a Team Morgan, since 2014. And I love this. So older sister Meg learned about the Million Mile when she was 5, is that right? Yes. 5 years old, and decided that this is something that they could do. And Meg, can you tell us why you decided that this would be a good idea? Why you wanted to do this?
I wanted to do it because it was just really hard for me seeing Morgan sick in the hospital, and I wanted to help raise money for other kids with cancer along with her as well. So I really wanted to do this because it's a fundraiser that helps raise money for childhood cancer.
Meg, that's incredible. And you are what we call a super sib, because, you know, I always say that the siblings are sort of like the quietest voices in this, but definitely childhood cancer affects the whole family. See, now I'm going to cry. The siblings who, like you, who show their love to their siblings by getting involved and doing things like this are really special to us at Alex's, and we appreciate you so much. So I guess maybe jumping back a little bit, maybe Liz, you could tell us a little bit about Morgan and you know what your family's been through.
Absolutely. So I always like to start by telling everyone when Morgan was diagnosed, because it's just one of those things that we can't ever get out of our heads as a family. So Morgan was first diagnosed with stage 4 high-risk neuroblastoma on Friday the 13th. It was September 13th, 2013, in the number 13 ER room. So we always say, you know, people say those numbers are unlucky. We've turned 13 into good luck for us. We've made the most of it. We make lemons out of lemonade, right? But that day, which we recently had her 7th cancerversary, since it has been 7 years since she was diagnosed, is when we first found out that she had cancer. And as you know, that certainly rocked our world. But we definitely pulled together as a family, and she went through all of the various stages of treatment. And we had some treatment done locally. We're actually in Russellville, Arkansas. So we're coming to you live from Arkansas, as you said earlier. And then we transferred her treatment and her current care up to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So we come that way several times a year. And Morgan, what big milestone did you have this past summer?
I officially turned into a survivorship clinic.
Yep, we had her first survivor clinic appointment over the summer, which was a huge, happy milestone for us. Yeah, I think
that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. Stage 4 neuroblastoma survivor is incredible, Morgan. You must be one tough cookie. I'm sure your whole family is. I know, you know, obviously that's the same thing Alex had. So I know that is not an easy way to get to survivorship, but we're so happy you did. That makes us all happy. And again, reminds us of why we're doing this. So can someone from your family tell us a little bit about what you like about the Million Mile or what you've learned from it? Anything you kind of want to share with us about your experience with it?
Can I wouldn't mind telling you what it's meant to us as a family.
I would love that.
If you don't mind. We have a family history on my side of the family with cancer, and Meg in particular experienced my mother and my father both in their cancer battles. And what the Million Mile did for Meg, because Meg was simultaneously experiencing her sister and then my father in end stages of pancreatic cancer. What it did for her, and then by extension the rest of us, is it gave her, and this is a 5-6-year-old kid, it gave her hope. It gave her something to focus on. It gave her a sense of control, that there was something that she could do to help other people. So we were in a really difficult time period for our family and our extended family in general. And Meg was so determined and so driven to be involved and to get us involved. She really helped Liz and I focus our energies not only on some of the negative aspects of childhood cancer, but also a lot of the positives and a lot of going out and making connections with others. And you had talked about people who don't have necessarily a personal stake in or a personal experience with childhood cancer, but becoming involved in that movement. And Meg really, through Alex's Million Mile, opened us up to a community that has forever been beneficial to us. And so it's amazing sometimes how these big life changes, and cancer was definitely a life change, but our perspective changing into how we could be actively involved, not only in our own child's well-being, but hopefully impact others. That was driven by, at the time, a 5-year-old. And that's really what Alex's Million Mile and then Alex's Lemonade Stand gave our family, was the opportunity to focus on something positive, give us something to do as a family, and give us something to provide to our community to help to encourage them to be involved in this cause as well.
Gosh, this pep rally, I'm not supposed to be crying.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. But I mean, you basically just described our experience with Alex's Lemonade Stand, right? Here she was 4 and she wanted to do something to help other kids. And it really changed our perspective on how many people we didn't know cared and showed up and wanted to buy lemonade and wanted to donate. It really does empower you. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but it shifts the way you look at how you can control things in a situation that's very hard to feel like you have control. And Meg, I can't even tell you how impressed I am that this is because of you. And gosh, that's incredible. It makes me so happy. I'm happy. I'm crying tears of joy. So I guess, anything else you want to share as a family with others out there who are doing the Million Mile in terms of, as survivors, what the research dollars mean to families like yours?
You, Meg?
Huh?
The research dollars for families.
Why do you think it's important to raise money for research?
I know you know why.
I think it's important to raise money for research because the more money that they have, the more resources they can get to help them research and find a better cure faster for cancer.
Wow, well said. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Everybody's so proud of you. You have so many comments here. That's fantastic. Morgan, Aunt Susie's proud of both of you guys. She's probably proud of the whole family. We've got the Morden Foundation on the phone. Everybody's so happy to hear from you guys and learn from you. So thank you for sharing with us. We really appreciate it, and keep logging those miles. By the way, guys, in case you didn't think Meg and Morgan and the whole family was any more amazing, Meg ran her first half marathon when she was 7 years old. So there we go. We're going to close with them.
I don't think she's run in any race without having her Alex's Lemonade Stand.
Oh,
so she's always representing.
Thank you.
Even
We all, yeah.
There was a superhero 5K in here, and I went as Super Lemon. With my Alex's.
Well, Jay, my husband, Jay, who you heard from at the beginning, he ran a marathon in a big lemon costume. So you guys make a good team, I guess. Okay,
Yes.
So we should move on because we have another special guest. Again, thanks again to the Schwem family. We have Dr. Jen Kalish and her lovely and talented daughters joining us today. And she's a longtime supporter of Alex's. Her whole family is like, they do everything all year long to support for many years. And she has a great Million Mile team, Team Beck with Vitamin Syndrome. And she also happens to be a researcher funded by Alex's Lemonade Stand. And she's dedicated her life and her talent to helping families whose children have cancer or predispositions to cancer. So Jen, we're hoping you could share with us your experience with the Million Mile, really what the funding means to researchers like you over the years, your funding from Alex's. And if your girls want to say anything, of course, they're always more than welcome.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here today and to get together with everyone. So for me, Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation gave me my first grant. It was the first time that I submitted a research grant for the research that we're doing now. And I studied Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, which is a cancer predisposition syndrome, which means that about a quarter of the children with the syndrome actually develop cancer, either a Wilms tumor or a kidney cancer or a liver tumor most commonly. And what we're trying to understand is more about the syndrome, both in how it leads to cancer and how we can screen for and better treat cancer. And what the Million Mile funds and the additional Alex's grants have done is really help us establish an international registry for patients and really write cancer screening guidelines. And now we actually are about to publish the first human cell-based model of Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome based on some of the proposals in the initial grant that Alex has funded. And what the Million Mile funds specifically have really allowed us to do, especially in the last 6 months or so, is to keep the research going. Because one of the challenges has been that a lot of research has been shut down at many institutions as we were dealing with the crisis all around us. But one of the things that we were able to do with the Million Mile funds over the years was to buy each team member a laptop. So we were able to basically pick up laptops and everybody was able to go home and continue doing the research. So it's funds like that that are really important so we can keep research going whenever and wherever we are in the world. And that's really what's been helpful. The other thing that the Million Miles allowed us to do is really partner with families and patients to jointly support both the research efforts and the directions of the research, because I can think of lots of interesting ideas, but it's really what patients and families need that we need to be focusing the research on. And it's been wonderful to partner with Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation to help accomplish that.
Thanks, Jen. I think the fact that you bring families together to be a part of the research conversation is really amazing. And I know the families appreciate it. And I think it's been one of the things that I think has stood out to me about the work you do in the community and why the families look to you for so much leadership. I will also say that our #1 team, if I'm not mistaken, Super Nora, found us because their daughter has a predisposition, and through you and the work you've done, have discovered Alex's Lemonade Stand and wanting to support an organization that supports predisposition research. So you can see how this community is all working together for the better of the kids. And I think you really exemplify that for everybody. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, girls, are you doing the Million Mile? How many miles have you logged so far?
Not nearly enough because we're doing school virtually this year, but we have taken up biking, and we've been biking in and around Philadelphia, and that really helps add up miles. So that's, and our dad still runs, even though he's not training for marathon right now, he's still running it. So he makes up most of the family's miles.
Most of the family miles, right? You have about 50 people on your team, is that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what our current mileage is. I think for each of you girls, you're about at 50 each, I think. I don't know if we've actually logged it on there, but with all the bike riding.
It's all the bike riding. We just don't go anywhere anymore.
You just go around the block.
Many times. We
many times.
We've gone several miles in the elliptical.
So Jen, are people in your lab participating in the Million Mile as well? They are. So I think every member of the group is actually every member of the team is in the,
and their dogs.
Yeah, and their dogs.
Their dogs.
And their other pets as well.
Yeah.
But that's actually been, I think, the biggest hurdle, because we used to all of us used to walk to work from either Center City or University City, and that's not happening as frequently anymore.
So can you tell us, since we have a couple minutes, like 2, how this year has affected the research, and if you think that I know you mentioned that Alex's funding helped you sort of carry it forward, but just kind of let us know what the state of things are in the research community right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge has been just because we wanted to have social distancing and weren't sure how that was going to work, that just the volume of people in the laboratory. So I run 2 programs, a clinical research program and a basic science research program. So for the basic science research program, we've just been trying to work in more like shifts instead of having everybody in the lab at the same time to space things out so that we're not overcrowding the spaces. And then for clinical research, we're sort of back where we were before in terms of enrolling patients and seeing patients both in the hospital and having patients contact us internationally. And actually one of the studies that we launched earlier in COVID was a virtual online survey-based study. And we got a lot of responses very quickly, and which was probably helpful because people were at their computers at home and were more focused on it. So we actually got a couple hundred responses within just a few weeks. So there's pros and cons to all of that. And I would say research is ramping up to close to normal levels. The challenge has been in terms of traveling and interacting with colleagues. With conferences being virtual, it's not quite the same thing as running into someone in the hallway. But people are adapting it just like every other aspect of life, and we're trying to figure out how to do things more virtually. In some ways, our lab meetings, I think, have actually been more productive and there's been more conversation in them because people are using it as a time to really connect with each other because you're not seeing somebody in the lab at the same time every day.
Yeah, I mean, the point I think that we've heard from a lot of researchers is things stalled a little bit, but we all know, everybody involved in taking care of kids with cancer or trying to help kids with cancer knows that it doesn't stop, right? No. We have to keep going. And that's what's made me so excited this month to see the momentum we're getting with the Million Mile, and people are paying attention to the fact that it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and logging miles and raising money. Because we had a little pause over the summer too, but I feel like we're kind of all ramping back up and ready to get back at it for these kids, which is obviously what we're all here for. So thank you for sharing. Any parting thoughts from you or your family?
Not really. Like, you've been working with Alex for a long time.
Yeah.
We've been connected with them since I was born, actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
That's about right. No, it's been our pleasure to partner with everybody.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we are concluding our time here. I don't want to keep people too long, but let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen the rest of the month. We're going to log a ton of miles. We're going to raise a ton more money. Those are two givens. We do have some like mini virtual events happening still. We have, there's a Volvo virtual 5K that they're sponsoring with the New York Roadrunners. It's free for people to sign up. Everybody who signs up, Volvo makes a $10 donation to Alex's. So basically it means you run a 5K in a time frame. And there's like some other fun things you can do with that. We have our virtual marathon, half marathon, the 26th. Is that right? Thumbs up. Yes, the 26th. It's not too late if you want to participate in that. You can walk or run it, I suppose. I guess you can run or walk it, I should say. I think I'm going to try to walk 12, but we'll see how that goes. That might take a long time. You can just let us know if you haven't signed up for it, and we can like kind of switch you over to sign up for it. There's a link to the New York Roadrunners virtual race right in the chat right now. Follow us on social. We're putting up lots of different stories and different content on there. You also can put up your own photos and pictures and hashtag Million Mile and tag Alex's Lemonade. We love seeing those. In fact, I was just looking at one earlier. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest little girl. Her team is Smiles for Scarlett. They're a Million Mile team. She is literally undergoing chemotherapy right now. I saw this tagged on Facebook. You probably, let me see, I'm so bad at this. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Isn't she? She's wearing a gold little headband and a big smile on her face. She's really adorable. Anyways, their family is in the midst of going through this treatment with their baby, and here they are doing a Million Mile team and raising money. And again, it kind of pushes me to say, you know, we can all do more. When you see families like that who are already going through so much in the middle of a pandemic, getting out there and doing all they can. Okay, so questions. Did we get any questions here? Does anybody have questions or comments? Okay, everybody's question free. I guess we did a good job then. There's lots of links in the comments. Please, if you have anything you need, we are here to help you. We have Chris, who you see there, and you probably heard from Selena. We have other people at Alex's who can answer your questions, solve your, not all your problems, solve your million mile problems, hopefully. But we really want to help you, and we really want it to feel like this is a really incredible experience for you and for everybody on your team. So thank you so much for participating. Jay, you want to close us out with some final words?
I just heard about an exciting fundraiser that another team is going to do.
Let's hear it.
So I'm going to do a fundraiser where I'm going to let people vote on whether I should shave or keep this mustache. I really want them to vote for shaving it, but I just heard from a good friend of ours that she's thinking about letting people vote on whether she colors her hair or lets it go gray.
Oh, that's not me.
No.
Mine is not even dyed. So
No, but it's somebody that we know.
somebody that we know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who it is, but
Okay. Okay.
they texted me during this Zoom.
That's fun. Yeah, it's great to see all the different ways people are turning what's happening in their lives into fundraisers. I've got one vote for Shave It in the chat, Jay. It was from me, but I'm sure there are others who agree with me.
It was from you?
Yeah. If
Yeah,
anybody else wants to weigh in on this, feel free.
Somebody yesterday said that they would make a big donation if I dyed it yellow.
Oh, that could be really interesting. A
I don't
yellow
know.
mustache.
Not that interesting.
Gail Apfel says shave it.
Or thank you, Gail.
Anyways, it's been so fun. I hope you guys found this, worthwhile. We love the ideas. I know there's so many, and I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but we see a lot of really fun.
Dawn Morton
creative
said
things.
dye it yellow, then shave it.
Oh, there you go. Twofer. Somebody might have to donate double for that.
I don't know.
Dye it yellow and then shave it.
We'll
I don't
see.
even know how you could dye it. You'd have to bleach it first.
Definitely.
Anyways, any experts out there in dyeing dark hair yellow, please let us know. But appreciate all you do, and we will see you at the Million Mile wrap-up celebration, which date to be determined and invites to be going out. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Keep
Bye,
up.
everybody.